Good morning. Welcome to the UU Church of the South Hills, also known as Sunnyhill. We're delighted that you could join us for this service. Our mission at Sunnyhill is to create a more just and compassionate community within and beyond our walls. My name is Ella McGaw, and I serve as a worship associate for this congregation. If you're a newcomer or visitor to our congregation, please go to sunnyhill.org and click on the button that says New to Sunnyhill to receive more information about us and to receive our weekly email newsletter. Also, if you'd like to be greeted as a newcomer after the service, please take a red mug and members will seek you out to make sure you are warmly welcomed. If you're joining us online today, please say hello or good morning in the comments on Facebook or YouTube. We'd like to hear from you and extend a welcome to you as well. For all those who are here in person, a gentle reminder, please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices so that we can enjoy the service uninterrupted by buzzing or ringing. If you have a restless infant or toddler with you today and need a place to take a break outside the sanctuary, we have an infant care room in the back corner that you can access from the hallway where you can still see and hear the service. We now have a brief announcement about the Sunnyhill service auction, which will take place on April 15th.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie Kirsch. I'm a member of the auction committee. I have a really exciting announcement. It will be in person this year. Yes, so exciting. So mark your calendars for Saturday, April 15th. It's gonna be really amazing. I have a couple quick announcements about it. First, we need a theme. I've never actually attended in person. I joined right before the world shut down. We have a couple ghosts of auction themes past, if they could stand up around the room. So here's a little way to get you inspired. We need a theme. We have a booth, a table out when you exit later. We want you to vote on a theme. Maybe you saw in the beat, we are asking for some ideas. So that's first thing. Second, we need donations. That's how the auction works. All of us have to come together and make this possible. Ideas for donations can be parties. Are you really good at cooking and want to invite a few people over? Are you very handy and want to donate a couple hours? Are you really good at art or photography? Or maybe a basket that we could raffle off would be really fun. Anything of new or value that you would be really excited to get at an auction. Third and last point, we need some helpers. Like I said, I'm fairly new and I'm joining. Any task is not too small. If you'd like to help out with the auction this year, just find out what kind of roles are available. Come say hi to me later, or Bethany, or at the table when you vote on our theme. Thank you, everybody. Remember, April 15th. Thank you so much.
Today's service, titled Guardians of Being, asks the question, what is it that many of us find so fascinating about animals, especially our pets? This service will explore the lessons that we can learn from animals who seem to live in a state of pure being, without the filters of thinking or judgment. Our opening words are from Mary Oliver's poem, How It Begins. A puppy is a puppy is a puppy. He's probably in a basket with a bunch of other puppies. Then he's a little older, and he's nothing but a bundle of longing. He doesn't even understand it. Then someone picks him up and says, I want this one. Please join me in saying the words to light our chalice. From this little spark, let's try that again, alrighty. From this little spark, may a fire of passion spread from heart to heart and light our way.
Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn, Blue Boat Home.
And if you're looking for a seat, we've got lots of seats down front here. I think sometimes people are scared of Mary, but don't be scared of Mary.
I showered and everything.
Good morning, friends. If there are any kiddos with us today that would like to come up closer for the story, come on up and join me. Hi, Ruth. Come on up. There we go. Good morning, friends. Good morning. One of my favorite things to do is gaze at the stars in the night sky. Do any of you like to gaze at the stars in the night sky? Yes, it's amazing. I always have, since I was about your age. Did you know that back when I was a kid, in the 1900s, there was a company that would let you name a star? I know, it's a silly concept, naming stars. It's not even an official thing that NASA recognizes. It's like paying to name a blade of grass. Doesn't make sense. Nonetheless, I love stars so much that someone purchased naming rights for a star for me. I was about 13. My mom and I still joke about it when we happen to be out on a clear night. Is that it? Is that the Gen Star? Well, this story is not about the Gen Star, wherever the Gen Star may or may not be. It's about a different one. There's an ancient Indian book, holy book, called the Mahabharata. It's the world's longest epic poem with 200,000 lines and more than 1.8 million words. There are a lot of stories in this book that are a source of wisdom. One of the main characters in this book is a prince named Yudhishthira, the hero of the saga. And he's renowned for his love of the Satya, which means truth or reality, and Dharma, which means the right way of living. But his character is revealed most fully at the end of a very long story. Working as hard as they could, Yudhishthira and his brothers climbed the peaks of the Himalayan mountains on their final pilgrimage. One by one, his 4 brothers fall aside, weighed down by their accumulated karma, or the things they have done in the past. But Yudhishthira, who is without any faults, reaches the summit. And at the top is the king of all the gods, Indra. All along the way, Yudhishthira's dog, Svana, is with him, a loyal and faithful companion for every step of the journey. Our pets could be like that, right? They could be so loyal. Does anybody have any loyal pets at home? Dogs are pretty loyal. Okay. So pets could be very loyal to us. Indra prepares to take Yudhishthira to heaven in a golden chariot, but Indra tells him that he must leave his dog behind. There's no place in heaven for people with dogs, the almighty Indra announces. Ugh, I know. That's how I feel. Yudhishthira responds, "This dog, O Lord of the past and the present, is totally devoted to me. He should go with me. My heart is full of compassion for him, and compassion is the great teaching of the Vedas." "But you've renounced all other earthly things," Indra reasons. "Why not sacrifice this dog too? The realm of bliss is waiting." But Yudhishthira won't betray his friend, even if it means not going to heaven. He explained, "I've been taught that the abandonment of one that is devoted is infinitely sinful, as bad as slaying a Brahmin or holy man. Therefore, O great Indra, I shall not abandon this dog today or any day." Now that is devotion. At this moment of supreme self-denial, the dog morphs into a deity or a god that had just been testing Yudhishthira. The gates of paradise open for man and dog alike, and the dog, Svana, takes his place in the heavens above as the luminous body we know today as Sirius, the dog star, the brightest star in the entire night sky, even brighter than the Gen Star. Now, it's true that none of us knows for sure what is beyond this life. But the idea that whatever heaven is out there or up there also allows dogs, now that makes me happy and brings me hope. And with that, we will head to our RE classes.
As
electronics in my ears. I'd like to dedicate this song to the people here because all of you have helped each other in many different ways. And you have a lot of friends you may not know yet. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road is rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, just remember what your old pal said. Well, you got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got your troubles, I got them too. But there isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We'll stick together and see them through, 'cause you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Some of those other folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, maybe stronger too, maybe. But none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy. So when the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see our destiny. You got a friend in me. Oh, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me.
I apologize, I was missing a slide there. For those who don't know, that was Bob Lee who just sang that for us so beautifully. Thank you, Bob. This is a time in our service where we share joys and sorrows. After each joy or sorrow I share, I invite you to respond by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." And after our joys and sorrows, while we sing our meditation hymn, we'll also have an opportunity for anyone who wants to come up and light a candle for any joy or sorrow that you might be holding in your heart silently. Just have one sorrow that was submitted this week from Diana McLaughlin, who says, "My father is back in the hospital with a broken hip just one day after being discharged from skilled nursing following a hospital stay over the holidays. He has dementia as well as several other health conditions, and this has been a challenging month. To Diana and her family, we hold you in our hearts."
Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Please join me in the spirit of meditation or prayer. In a world often marked by sorrow and discontent, by pain and want and worry, we long for warmth and well-being, for rest and relief and repose. We long for comfort. Let us pause for a moment of silence to make space for those things that cause us discomfort, to hold them lightly and then let them go, drifting into the care and comfort of this loving community. May our souls sing a song of quiet contentment and comfort. May we speak in comforting ways to ourselves and those around us. May we immerse ourselves in the dance of joy and sorrow, agitation and tranquility, uncertainty and resolve. And may we learn to bring comfort to ourselves and others in an often comfortless world. Amen. As I suggested in my sermon last week, we as human beings sometimes seem to spend much more of our lives thinking about things and talking about things than we do actually experiencing things. It's almost as if we are afraid of being fully present in this moment. So we build barricades that keep us from life just as it is. It is important for us to consider how we might go about removing some of these barriers of judgment and thinking that keep us from sensing and experiencing what is immediately around us. And I would suggest that some of our greatest role models in feeling and being, without judging or overanalyzing, might be our pets. As author Eckhart Tolle has said, I have lived with many Zen masters, all of them cats. I know that not everyone has pets, and there are some very good reasons not to have a pet. But I do think that there are things that all of us can learn from pets, whether or not we have them ourselves. Marta and Ella and I live with a standard poodle whom we named Juliet, known affectionately as Jules or Julesy. She's been with us since our first year here in Pittsburgh. In this picture, which shows Ella holding Jules when we first got her as a puppy, Jules looked like something of a cross between a Muppet and a baby gorilla. Our last dog, a rescued standard poodle we named Sylvie, bonded primarily with Marta. But Jules has bonded pretty much equally with all three of us, though she looks to us each for different things. From Ella, she expects playfulness and roughhousing. From me, she expects petting and quiet time together on the couch. From Marta, she expects walks and treats. Much like the cats Eckhart Tolle mentions, Jules serves as our resident Zen master. This picture shows her in our backyard, sitting placidly among our raised garden beds and Tibetan prayer flags. She tends to alternate between contemplative poses like this one and moments of pure, frenzied energy. I will admit that there are certain times when I find myself very much in need of this Zen pet energy. Although I'm what might be described as a mild-mannered, even gentle person most of the time, my personality undergoes a somewhat dramatic transformation when, for example, I'm watching a University of North Carolina basketball game on television. As many of you know, I'm a UNC alumnus and worked there for some 20 years before going into ministry. When I'm watching a Carolina basketball game, I'm afraid that there is often a fair amount of foot stomping involved, and occasionally what might be termed screaming. I'm especially intolerant of what I consider really stupid comments by the analysts and commentators. And Jules, like Sylvie before her, quickly leaves the room when the stomping and the shouting begin. Sylvie actually got to the point where she would leave the room as soon as she saw that I'd turned a basketball game on the television. She goes straight and hide in the laundry room. Jules is a little bit more tolerant of my sports-induced madness, but there's only so much that she'll put up with, which seems to me wise. And it's also a reminder to me to maybe rein myself in a little bit. Jules has become tuned in to other emotions as well. She seems to know when I'm feeling down, seems to know when I need her calm presence right there beside me. I often wish that we, as human beings, were more like pets in this way. That when we sense someone is a threat, just get out of their way. And conversely, when we see someone in pain, get close to them and simply sit with them. But so often we get lost in our thoughts and our judgments. We don't allow ourselves to do what our bodies and our deepest senses tell us is right. We tend to worry about how we will be perceived. We start thinking about whether the person around us ought to be feeling the way they're feeling or not. We start making pro and con lists in our head, or at least I find myself doing this sometimes. If I reach out to a friend who is clearly having a hard time, what are the possible things that could go wrong? Could I be misinterpreted in some way? Will this person feel that I'm invading their privacy somehow? Will I get in over my head? Will there be nothing I can do that will help? Dogs do not tend to overthink the situation. When Jules sees one of us struggling with something, she'll come and sit next to us. When she sees us do something potentially threatening, she'll go to the next room or run outside through her dog door. She doesn't really stop to analyze the situation. While it was Socrates who first proposed that the unexamined life was not worth having, it was the great Unitarian thinker and essayist Ralph Waldo Emerson who really took this idea and ran with it, suggesting that each step we take, each possible action we might take, must be reflected upon. The poet Mary Oliver counters Emerson's sentiments in her poem, Percy, Waiting for Ricky, from her collection of poems titled Dog Songs. Your friend is coming, I say to Percy, and name a name, and he runs to the door, his wide mouth in its laugh shape, and waves, since he has one, his tail. Emerson, I am trying to live as you said we must, the examined life. But there are days I wish there was less in my head to examine, not to speak of the busy heart. How would it be to be Percy, I wonder, not thinking, not weighing anything, just running forward? I borrowed the title of my sermon today, Guardians of Being, from a book of that same name. It's a collection of beautiful drawings by Patrick McDonnell, the creator of the Mutts comic strip, and words by Eckhart Tolle, whom I quoted earlier, author of The Power of Now, among other books. The premise of this book, as articulated by Tolle, is as follows. The vital function that pets fulfill in this world hasn't been fully recognized. They keep millions of people sane. They have become guardians of being. Millions of people who otherwise would be completely lost in their minds and in endless past and future concerns are taken aback by their cat or dog taken back into the present moment again and again, and reminded of the joy of being. During the pandemic shutdown, millions of people sensed this deep need for companions that would help keep them somewhat balanced and grounded, focused not on things beyond their control, but instead on joy in what is here now, immediately around us. People acquired pets not just because they were lonely and isolated, but also because they needed to be reminded of this joy of simply being. In Guardians of Being, Tolle says, "We have forgotten what rocks, plants, and animals still know. We have forgotten how to be still, to be ourselves, to be where life is, here and now." What is it that so many people find enchanting in animals? Their essence, their being, is not covered up by the mind, as it is in most humans. And whenever you feel that essence in another, you also feel it in yourself. This statement strikes me as being profoundly true. Watching a sleeping dog or sleeping infant, for example, makes me feel more at peace than just about anything else in the world. Recognizing and experiencing that deep essence in another causes me to feel it in myself. For a long while, there has been some uncertainty about the extent to which pets are actually able to know what's going on with us. Do they really sense our moods, or are we just experiencing some kind of transference or projection or anthropomorphizing, attributing to our pets human emotions and sensibilities? But recent studies on the brain function of dogs suggest that dogs really do pick up on subtle emotional cues from humans and respond to them in measurable ways, even more than they do for emotional cues from other animals. So it seems that it's not just projection on our part. It seems that pets really do understand, to some extent, what is happening with us emotionally. And even without critical thinking skills, or perhaps because they are unhindered by critical thinking skills, they are able to respond and to do so in the here and now. But perhaps just as important as our pets' ability to sense and respond to our moods, and responding with unconditional acceptance, is their serving as willing recipients of our own unconditional love. Each of us needs not only to be loved, but to have something or someone whom we can love and will take it in without judging or having to endlessly analyze or discuss it. In Mary Oliver's poem, Little Dog's Rhapsody in the Night, she says, "He puts his cheek against mine and makes small expressive sounds. And when I'm awake, or awake enough, he turns upside down, his forepaws in the air and his eyes dark and fervent. Tell me you love me," he says. "Tell me again." Could there be a sweeter arrangement? Over and over, he gets to ask, I get to tell. Richard Rohr, one of my favorite spiritual writers, said animals can seemingly connect out of pure naked being without any filters, except, of course, fear of rejection or harm. Is this innocence? Whatever it is a gift. And a gift that you and I have to reclaim and relearn with great difficulty. I do think that this gift is one that we can learn over and over again from our relationships with animals, especially pets. And it's something that seems to spread outward. This pet mind is something that rubs off on people and can be transmitted from person to person as well. If you've ever spent any time at a dog park, you can sometimes see this kind of energy at work. Just watching the dogs interact and play with each other and with their people engenders this sense of warm-spirited goodwill. People at dog parks start interacting with each other with a kind of openness that seems increasingly rare in other places. In her poem, How a Lot of Us Became Friends, Mary Oliver describes this kind of experience. One day on the beach, Ricky met a dog just his size. Her name is Lucy, and she is very pretty. Wow, said Ricky. Naturally, I met Lucy's mother, Teresa, at the same time. It happens that Ricky's full name is Ricky Ricardo. So how could Ricky and Lucy not take to each other? In fact, they became quite tight. It wasn't a good day if they didn't see each other. So how could Teresa and I not start on that day to become friends? Clearly, it's not good for us to be like our pets in every way. It's nice, for example, to have opposable thumbs. It's nice to be able to build things and write things and use language in interesting ways. It's nice to walk on two legs and to have choices about what we might do with our lives. But I do think that we have much to learn from pets about being able to connect with others without judgment and without the various screens and filters that we tend to carry around with us as human beings. I hope and pray that we might learn, as other animals do, to see things as they are and to respond from our hearts. May it be so. Amen. We invite you to rise in body and or spirit and join in singing our hymn, For the Earth Forever Turning.
Cherish
It's time for our morning offering. We don't have a designated offering this morning, so our collection will benefit Sunnyhill and help defray our operating expenses. If you'd like to make a gift via our online giving system, you can do so by going to sunnyhill.org and clicking on the button that says Online Giving, or you can give by text at 412-324-3130. You can also mail a check if you're not here today. You can find our mailing address on our website. For those of you who are here with us in person, we'll be passing our offering baskets in just a moment. As we do that, we'll be watching a slideshow of photos from members of their pets, which was lovingly compiled and put together by Mary Pratt and will be accompanied by our own Buddy Rigger. Thanks to everyone who submitted those photos, and thanks to Mary. That was a hard job getting all those photos down to about a 3 or 4 minute slideshow. So, please join me in saying the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our closing words come again from the poet Mary Oliver. Because of the dog's joyfulness, our own is increased. It is no small gift. It is not the least reason why we should honor as well as love the dog of our own life, and the dog down the street, and all the dogs not yet born. What would the world be like without music or rivers or the green and tender grass? What would this world be like without dogs? Go in peace and go in joy.